Hello everyone, I'm High Treason. I'm kind of making this video partly for very selfish reasons, in that what I'm going to talk about is stressing the fuck out of me, and I got to get it off my chest somewhere. It's about 5 to midnight, so yeah, I'm not going to be able to really do that IRL, and I might never upload this. I actually record loads and loads of these type of videos and never upload them, because just talking to the camera helps me out. But this one I think I sort of should upload, because really, I don't know, some people may be interested in like why I'm not really making videos now, although you can probably guess. You know I got to move house. I don't really want to. A part of me does, a big part of me doesn't. I quite like this house. Yeah, it's a shithole, but it's a tolerable shithole. The problems in it are not that great, and the ones that are, as much as I got sick and couldn't finish fixing them, were fixable. They weren't that hard. It was like replace the floorboards because the council fucked them up. Wasn't that hard. Overall, it's not hard to mess with floorboards, especially when your house was constructed properly in the first place. Yeah, sure, we'll just tear them up and put new ones in, or you can still get them the right size, but I wanted to varnish them. So, the alternative's to nail fake ones over the top. I don't use laminate flooring. I don't really like carpets. I'll tolerate carpets because they're cheap, but I'm not a fan of them if you've got floorboards. I think if there's wood there, it wants varnish. You paint it, you might as well just use plastic. And, yeah, the council gave me a new house, and I don't really like it. I'm not really sure why I said yes to it. To be honest, I feel kind of like I was pushed into that, and I'm not best pleased, and I don't really blame the council so much for that, but I want to say before I have a lot off, much as the guy or anyone that knows him will never see this, I don't think, the bloke who kind of coordinated it and shit, the housing guy, I have no gripes with him. He actually seems like a good guy, and he's doing his job and whatever, so I don't begrudge him anything. He's done nothing really to piss me off, so yeah, if anybody knows the guy, then yeah, shit, no, I don't begrudge that guy. I'm not going to name him. He hasn't done anything. He seems like a good guy, and he's just doing his job, so that's fine. But they give me this other house, and it's a fucking, in my opinion, it should be demolished. I mean, I'm not a fucking builder, but I mean, if this thing's eligible to be demolished because it's crap, then stands to reason a worse house is probably really should have been demolished already. And anybody in Britain, and Hull especially, will know that things kind of from like the 60s and that, a lot of those buildings are gone for a good reason. I don't really agree with knocking old shit down because it's old, but stuff from the 60s, it's a fucking eyesore, and it was never well made. I mean, I don't mean any offence to anybody that lives on Bransham. My best mate's off fucking Bransham. I used to live on Bransham. There's nothing wrong with Bransham as Bransham. It's just another council estate. It's like any other. It's like the one I'm on or whatever. They're all basically the same. There's nothing wrong with them. And even if there is, you don't go about spouting that on your doorstep, because you'll probably piss people off. That's not a good idea. But I'll be honest, the worst place I've ever lived was private housing. I've got robbed and mugged and beat up quite a lot in there, and I've never really had any issues on council estates, so I don't know what that says. I think they get a lot of negative fucking rep for no reason. Yeah, a lot of them houses are from like that time period. Those are crap, that's why they got rid of a load of them. They're no good. People who live in them will tell you Bransham houses are fucking shit. So, things from that era. And this house it's probably better built than a Bransham house, I guess, but is it really? What they gave me, it's on Bilton Grange. It's from the same era. I would have guessed it was from the 50s. Apparently it was put up in the 60s, so I'm guessing they were probably using an older design, or it was just unusual for the time. And the layout makes no sense, for one thing. I can't make sense of that. We've got this junk room, I'll show you little bits and pieces of footage. We've got this junk room, that's all I'm calling it, because I can't think what to do with that. That's sort of halfway in the fucking thing. People told me to put my bikes in there, I'll never get them round the corner, so yeah, and I don't know where to put them in the kitchen because there's worktops in the way. And shit like that. I mean, that I'm not that bothered about. I'd just demolish half the worktops. I don't spend long in the kitchen. Why is the kitchen always a a selling point on houses. Oh, we've had a new kitchen. Why? I don't spend 5 minutes in here a day. Why is it even so big? What wanker built this place? The kitchen should be about the size my bog is, you know. You've seen that in a few videos, like, you know, when I was jerking around in the Lear video, you know, I was sat on the bog, like, playing Terminal Velocity on the Lear. You couldn't see I was playing Terminal Velocity. I actually was playing Terminal Velocity on it. You know, I actually did set the thing up properly. But that's how big a kitchen should be. It has enough space. You'd have enough room for a microwave and a fucking hot plate in there. And maybe put a kitchen sink, so maybe twice the size of that room. You know, that would be a good kitchen. The only reason my kitchen in here ever got decorated was because I had money left to do that when I moved in here. It was like, oh, I got that yellow paint and wallpaper's not very expensive from Boise's. We'll buy some wallpaper, we'll decorate the kitchen. I don't know if anyone ever noticed my ceiling in there is nutmeg and not actually regular white. I hate white ceilings. Paint a different colour. There's too many white ceilings. And more people do paint them now, so that can only be a good thing. So I don't get that. And bathrooms, they're always a selling. Look, we just had a new bathroom put. Yeah, it's crap. What a waste of money. Who paid for that? Was the old one working? Well, yeah, but it was. Well, what's the point? You know, I go in the bathroom to take a crap, or like to take a bath. It's not a place I really want to be. You know, normally I only get one bath a year. You know. You can't smell under my arms on the camera, that's pointless. I get like one bath a year, probably, you know. I don't have hot water here, what am I supposed to do? I have to borrow somebody else's. You know, why the fuck do I care about that? But yeah, that's, like I say, shit like that isn't an issue. What's an issue is shitty fucking workmanship. They had that stuff down, tack strip, what you use around the edge for holding the carpet down, so I'm like, well, fuck, I'm pulling that up, you know. I'm not having a carpet, I can't afford a carpet. I had £6, I've now got £5 because I had to buy a loaf of bread. So, yeah, and I'm running out of stuff to smoke, so that's going to be a problem if I don't get paid soon. And, so I started ripping that shit out, and the fucking floorboard came up with it, so I'm like, that's kind of bad. And the floorboards are ruined, so I'm like, I better replace those. And there was another loose board in my bedroom. Look how small that room is, look. Look at how fucking small that is. That's fucking great. So there was a loose board, so I lifted it, because I'm like, well, it's not held down, I'll have a look under there. And I didn't think much to it, you know, it's pretty standard when you get a council house that they've ruined the floor and they won't nail the boards back down. They actually screw them down. I don't know when it became a thing to screw floorboards down. It looks horrible, and you're more likely to split the wood, in my opinion. If you're competent with a hammer, such as I am, you will pretty much never split the wood when hammering a nail through it, and anybody who works wood a lot will pretty much tell you, you know, if you know what you're doing with a hammer, you don't really have to worry about shit like that. Just don't be an idiot with it. You know, practice if you have to on something that doesn't matter. The main trick with handling a hammer is holding it down the bottom of the handle and hitting it hard instead of holding it there at the top. Tip, 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 like a 1950s housewife. That's how you get it down the lower part of the handle and give it from behind the fucking shoulder. You'll never bend the nail, you'll never split the wood, I guarantee it. But, you know, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, well, you know, what a load of crap. There's bricks under here on top of a plasterboard ceiling, so we'll take those out and put them somewhere else out the way, because I don't want them falling through the ceiling and hitting me on the head. Because that plasterboard's probably been there since the place was put up. I don't know how good it is. You know, if you perk the stuff in here from above, because it's been there since 1937, it starts flaking away. So, you know, but this stuff has like little strips of wood running across. This is All-Star. That stuff was sheet, I think, was just nailed up, it looks like. So they've got very different ways of doing things. I don't think much of it, but I had a tape measure on me. It wasn't a very good tape measure. It's actually this tailor's measure. I wouldn't recommend using these for DIY or construction, but I wasn't doing that, and I just had it on me. I was getting some general ideas of the size of things, and I decided to measure the distance from one joist to the next. Now, technically you measure them centre to centre, but I mean, you're going to get the same result measuring them edge to edge when they're already in, and it's easier to do that, so, you know, whatever. And the standard really is 16 inches, so I measured one and we got about 16 inches. That measure's not very accurate, it's really old, it's stretched, so we got about 16 inches, so I'm like, well, that's cool, you know. And then I just measured the next one. It came back at 15 inches, and I measured another one, and it came back at 14.5. And I imagine if I measured the distance between all the nails in the floorboards, they'd all be different. It looks like it, because I measured another one, and it was about 17 between two nails. So, I don't know. Like, whoever built it should have been fired, to be honest, because you don't really do that. And to me, they're undersized. I mean, in this house, they're about as wide as 4 of my fingers pressed together, and actually deeper as well. So you might say that's over-engineering it, but I'd rather over-engineer it than under-engineer it. And that's annoying, because if I pull those boards up, I've got to do a load of shitty mathematics to nail new ones down. You know, because now I've got to constantly look at where the joists are, which obviously I'd be able to do, but why should I do that when I just mark it out with pencil, you know, just every 16 inches, whack, 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 whack. It's a lot quicker. It's just bash it. Somebody's going to fucking make a remix of that or something. Just know, do it. I don't care. I will fucking laugh if you do that. You have my approval. If you do that, I'll be flattered. You know, it's a lot easier. That's it, and it comes down from materials, at least when it was Imperial, with fucking metric over it. And it is interesting, because the floorboards are a metric size, it looks like. So I think somebody has replaced them at some stage. So fuck them for having to do that, I pity them. But yeah, the materials used to be sold, they were all multiples of 16 inches, basically. You know, if you bought a sheet of wood, you know, it would be in some multiple of that. So, I don't know. You would have, like, what, 4 foot by 8 foot sheets of things like plasterboard or something, or like fucking wood sheet, like fucking chipboard and that. They're all in multiples of 16 inch. That's why, you know, that's your reason for that, if you're wondering, you know. But then, like I said, there's the fact they're underdone. Part of my ceiling seems to be falling off, so yeah, I'm not happy with that. There's like huge cracks underneath where that is and everything. The floor's sunk like several inches. I mean, the floor in this house has sunk. You build anything in Hull, it's going to sink. You know, a lot of it used to be swampland and marsh. If you put some, and there's clay there as well, it's basically water you're building on top of. So if you put anything that has any weight, it sinks. You know, if you ever seen Quest for the Holy Grail, let's say I was about to build a castle. That's basically Hull. That's what we did. I think. So this house has sunk. That back corner there, it's sinking. But this house is much older, and they've sunk roughly the same, if not. That one maybe slightly more, because the cracks are certainly a lot bigger in the concrete than they are in this. And this house probably weighs more as well, and it is closer to water, so really I'd a guess on this one sinking first, but no, I don't know on that. There's not that much in it, but yeah, that corner's sunk, and that's pretty piss poor, I'm going to be honest. All the lead's coming away from all the little fucking roofs. There's a porch out the front which is falling off, because you see those supports, you notice that one on the left's bent and the whole thing sags that way. Well, you'd think those are iron or something, right? And they used to be iron. They're actually PVC. They're the stuff you put under your sink. So I don't know who replaced those, but I wasn't aware PVC drain pipe was a building material now for structural purposes, but evidently, you know, my knowledge of this, I'm not a builder. So what the fuck do I know? And yeah, if I said something to a builder, he'd probably just act like a total dick, because every builder I've ever met's a fucking wanker. So if there's any watching this, then I don't know. By all means, call me a dick and say I don't know what I'm talking about. But personally, I wouldn't use that as a structural material, because the thing's coming away from the wall, as you can see, and that's all along. The whole thing's tearing away. And that's over the front door, so I don't know, that to me just doesn't really seem safe. I mean, on this house we have massive fucking pieces of, like, wood holding it up, but then again I think it's made out of concrete on this house, so you're holding a lot more weight up. I do really liked concrete when there's not a brick in this place. The whole place is concrete on an iron frame, so you know, these are an interesting construct. You can't actually mortgage these, you know, you can't actually buy one. No one will do it. That's how terrible these are meant to be. So yeah, I got problems with shit like that, and I got problems with like just the fucking house in general doesn't feel right, and somebody's been in it, which I can only assume is a previous resident, because I went there on Wednesday to wait for the electrician to come and test the electrics. Yeah, just turn the electricity on. I mean, you could, but you might die. And you would, because the outlets are all on the 10 amp cable, or most of them are, so yeah, that's a real fire hazard. In the UK, you know, we don't use that. Each UK plug, you can draw a maximum of 13 amps before you're doing something wrong. There's not many devices will draw that much, but you could quite easily go past that on a 4-gang extension cord or something. People are quite negligent. I'm negligent because I know how much I can get away with. I'm like, well, the socket's meant to have, you know, 30 amp cable in, so, you know, the terminals can handle a bit more load. Fuck it doesn't matter if we draw like 16 amps on it. It'll hack it, you know, we're not going to do it for long. So I'll quite happily be negligent like that. On the other end, on 10 amp wire, I'm not sure I really want to be doing that. I mean, I had similar problems in here when I moved in. Most of this wasn't earthed, and they just rewired it. So I don't know who the fuck did that. We've got, you know, so that I waited for him, and that was fine. I came back yesterday, Thursday, and somebody had been in and unlocked all the doors, and I just assumed it was a dickhead council worker not locking up. I couldn't tell what they'd done. They just moved things around. I didn't leave any of my stuff in the house. I just left trash there, you know, like the tack strip I'd pulled up. So I'm like, well, fucking assholes. A good job the house was empty. You know, somebody could have nicked me tools or something if I left them there. But yeah, nobody nicked me tools, so whatever. And basically, well, yes, I had enough of the place, because there's other issues with it, but I can't bother to go into them, you know. The place just, I don't really feel safe in there, to be honest. It's a fucking wreck. The place is an absolute fucking wreck. And of course, it doesn't help that everything on the house has been replaced with plastic crap. I don't know when plastic became an in thing, you know, to make windows out of that material and doors, but everything, even my windowsills are plastic. I honestly think it's like, is this for kids that smear shit all over the place, so it's easy to wipe down. You know, I had enough of that crap when I lived in a children's home. I don't really. That's one thing I like about this house. I could actually have like stuff that wasn't plastic all over the place. It wasn't like an easy wipe down surface. It's quite nice having carpets and wood and things like that, and fucking light fittings that aren't secured in the fucking ceiling with like 5 fucking bolts and that, and secure fucking vandal-proof stuff. It's really nice. You know, and now it's like basically obviously what they fit houses with crap like that, I guess. But yeah, yesterday I basically had enough of it, so I'm like, you know, I don't care what shit I got to do, even if I got to forfeit my disturbance money to get out of it, I'm not living in this place, because it's a fucking dump. So I went back on a night, because I'm like, well, if this goes to plan, I don't want to leave all that pile of trash I've made behind, because the council will send me a bill and it won't look good on my part. Oh, why should we give you another house? You've made a mess of the one we just gave you. You know, when I'm already doing something that really I'm not meant to do by trying to fucking tell them to stuff a legal agreement I signed up their arse isn't the easiest thing to pull off in the world, so I might not even achieve it. But, you know, I was like, fuck it, I really should clean that garbage up. And I even fixed a couple of things that I didn't really, you know, do. I only made a pile of trash out of things that were trash they'd left behind. So really I'm doing them a favour by removing it. And there was a couple of busted radiators and stuff, the grill on the top, and the boards that weren't screwed down. So I fixed a few of that stuff while I was there. So, you know, that's my gesture of, look, I'm not fucking your building up. You know, I just don't want it. It's crap. And, you know, you force me in there, I will demolish it. I will personally demolish the place if you force me to live there. You know, I'd rather be homeless than live in that piece of shit. It probably would be anyway. I reckon the building surveyor came around, probably condemn it, because it's a heap. It's damp as fuck, it's soaking wet. You know, somebody's had cavity wall insulation put in. Fucking, what is it? People know nothing about building. Oh yeah, we'll have that. We know nothing about windows, but yeah, we'll have double glazing. Oh, well, we know nothing about, you know, plumbing, but yeah, we'll have central heating. You know, fuck the old system, it's old, so natural. You know, I could go on massive lectures about all of these things, but your general population of fucking idiots, and I said that quite loudly, so I don't want to go around there, because I pretty much offended the whole neighbourhood and threatened to kill somebody's dog. which shouldn't have gone for me. You know, your dog goes for me, I will kill it, is basically the gist. Set your dog on me, prepare for the dog to be seriously injured or dead. I'm not going to stand there and let it bite me. They didn't set the dog on me, but that's not the point. The dog went for me, so I was like, dog, you do that, I will kill you, I will snap your neck. So, yeah, I called everybody idiots and threatened to murder somebody's dogs. I don't really want to set foot down there again, because fuck knows what will happen now. But, yeah, somebody had been in again, and this was way out of council hours, because I'd left early evening and I came back at night. The place pitch black. And somebody had moved shit, propped doors open with bricks, moved the loft hatch, but the doors were locked this time, so they've got a key, whoever it is. So you'd assume previous resident or a neighbour. You know, it's like this. I have like 5 keys. I'm on records only having one, so if I only have to hand one key in when I'm done, I could still just keep one of the other ones and come back. You know, so yeah, somebody's been in. So I'm glad I've not been leaving shit in there, because they would have nicked it, most likely. But they've been tidying up. That's the funny thing. All the mess I made, they kept tidying it. I kept making a mess, and they kept tidying it up. So somebody's been in again. So, and I saw somebody at the window, and I was going to go after him. I left it. My mate had just gone up the stairs, but on the way home I was telling him about it. He's like, that's funny, because just before I went up the stairs I thought I saw someone at that window. So somebody was at that window, and I don't know who they were. They ran off round the back of the house as far as I can tell, but like I said, I took about 3 steps. Well, you know what, fuck it, I don't care what they're doing at my house. It's not my house, I don't want it. If you're going to come in and fuck it up, I got witnesses, I didn't do it. I've got it on video, I didn't do it. I'm not going to get the blame. I locked the door, I've secured the property to the best of my ability and as much as can be rightfully expected of me. Nobody's going to do anything, and if they want to fuck it up, then you know what, I hope they do. I was saying loudly the whole time, if you're going to be in the house, please claim squatters' rights, because you're going to make my life a lot easier. I don't want to live here, you know, so you can have it. I really don't care. So yeah, that's what's going on, and obviously that's going to affect videos and shit. I really should be starting to pack shit. I just don't, because I felt crap, and I felt shit every second I'm in that house, because I'm allergic to the insulation. It gets on my chest. I've got a headache. My chest hurts like fuck. You know, and I felt like I'm breathing through a straw. It's getting better now, but I don't know what the fuck they use as wall insulation. But I go in houses that have it. I can't stay more than a few hours because I start wheezing and coughing, and it's just bad, and you get damp. You don't put an absorbent material in the cavity of a place built with porous bricks in a country where it rains all the time. You don't have to be a scientist to realise why that's a bad thing. You know, and it prevents... There's a reason that cavity's there. It's supposed to be open. So even if I wasn't allergic to it, I wouldn't have it. It costs thousands to have it taken out if I can't get the council to do it on warranty, wherever I end up, because you know the idiots are, oh, that sounds good, we don't know anything about building, but yes, we'll have wall insulation, you know, we'll cost the taxpayer a fortune, then make them pay out their own pocket to have it took out when we've gone. And it's fucking bullshit. So yeah, I don't know how many videos I've got left in this house. I'm going to miss this place, because I know wherever I get's going to be a piece of shit like that. You know, hopefully not as bad as that, because that place is a real fucking wreck. You know, structurally I don't think it's sound. I really don't. The amount that building has moved is incredible. And it just, no, that floor wouldn't even take the weight, the stuff I'm going to put on it anyway. I mean, I'm pushing the limits in this house, you know, with the massive fucking joists this thing's on, and much more solid fucking... It's just, there is a recipe for disaster. I would end up crashing through the ground into that living room. That living room is tiny, by the way. I don't know if I showed you the living room, but it's really small. But yeah, as for videos, I'd like to get at least one more done in this house, and I don't know what I'm going to do. My battery's about to die. I might do something with video cards, comparing them, or I might have a look at that if I got time. But I can't really tell you much about what that is right now. Only that I have it, and my IDE card there isn't very good. That's PCI one. So yeah, this is 25 minutes, it's long enough. Sub-treason. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry this sucks ass. I do plan on making more of these videos as progress is made on moving, but I really don't want to move, to be honest. It's pissing me off because I've got to sacrifice a lot of shit to move. I know inevitably I'm going to end up in a smaller house, paying more rent. That place is way more expensive than this one, you know, with all kinds of problems. If I had to move there right now, I can't even live in the place because of the problems it has. But these are the standards of Hull City Council. They're an absolute waste of taxpayer money. You know, I pay tax, you know, you're employed, you don't pay tax. I pay nearly £1,000 a year in fucking council tax and I don't see anything for it, and I still pay fucking rent out my own fucking pocket. So don't you be fucking telling me shit about that. You don't know nothing about me. So, yeah, I pay tax, I pay rent, I pay fucking everything, and that's how I get repaid, by observing my money's been fucking wasted on crappy kitchens and bathrooms instead of actually making sure the properties are fucking livable. And now it's not going on roads either because those are crap. So yeah, fuck knows where my tax goes, and I'm half tempted to find some way to stop paying it and just serve time in fucking jail because this is an absolute joke. Anyway, I'm high treason. I'm out of here. And yeah, there's more shit I wanted to say, like videos after I move and crap, but you know what, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it, won't we? I'm going, my battery's going to die, and I want to go to sleep because I've been sleeping shit the past few days, so whatever. I'm out of here, and I still stink like that fucking house. It's damp as fuck. It's getting right on my fucking chest. Somebody's going to ask me, so that board you just saw gets 15.1 frames per second on Quake on whatever time demo I usually run.